military marriages fail. I mean, because people can, you can say like, oh, I'm cheating because they're gone or whatever the fuck. But really, there's a lot behind that. It's really because you're lonely, you need attention, and like you may not realize that, but you're lacking that companionship, and so you're seeking it. Fuck me, I'm missing. You're seeking it out somewhere else. Oh, it's empty me. Oh yeah. You're seeking it out somewhere else. Um. Oh. So. Yeah, no, I think you got to be strong to, especially make a military marriage work. Like, I just met a girl. She's 20 years old, has a husband. She's been with since middle school. Not like actually as married, but just they've been in a relationship since then. And
Yeah.
she she attempted to kill herself. I think a week or two before I met her, because she was that down bad about like being away from her husband. She picked up drinking, even though she was 8 months sober. Like no, it takes a lot of resolve for a lot of these people, and so yeah, when it comes to not being overly sensitive and being in the military and doing all these things, like I'm sure, yeah, that plays a fucking role with the wives as well. Oh, that shit rides
Yeah.
up the fucking.
Ooh, that's a good shot. Oh fuck.
He pinched the shit out of that.
You
So
gotta
nah,
get that
man.
first.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I say, oh shit, biscuits. I say all that to say, I mean, it's, and it's cool. I got to I met a guy. He used to be a Marine. Um, he used to be a Marine. I met him. And I absolutely adore him, and like we hit it off because, I mean, despite me not being in the military, I have a lot of mannerisms of people that are in the military. Again, because of the way I grew up, I don't know all the fucking MOS call signs, but I can fucking, like, I can relate to you to some degree. So like we hit it off, and we were like fucking the best of buds the night that we met. And it's because we can relate to each other, because like we're of a community and
What a save.
people that we just think alike. We share a similar mentality. I don't think a majority of people don't think like that, and so we come into a lot of, we may find abrasiveness at other points. Conversating with people that don't share maybe the whatever the fuck it is. I'll just call it the military mojo that we have, even though it's through indirect exposure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because every time that it's always been a common thing like growing up where it's like, oh, you can tell like the military kids apart from the kids who parents weren't military.
Yeah.
Or like there's always those comments.
Oh
Damn it, it's just
shit! What a shot!
let's go.
What a! Oh my god! We were on it this game. Shit.
We played so much better than them. That was like I feel like we just like out like some of the shit we did. Nah. That was great. I don't want to say we were so much better than that one guy was off the rocker. But,
Nah, man. No, yeah. So all that being said, dude, just keep in mind, a lot of like feelings are more important to a lot of people than you realize, and that's what guides a lot of human interaction and the decisions we make. I never realized it until like I didn't even realize it from the election cycle, but it all is making a lot more sense to me. It's not about the facts. It's about how you feel about the facts. That's the most important thing to everybody. Elijah, real wages are up. Adjusted for inflation, Americans are earning more than ever before. So we're not hurting economically. The stock market has hit 4, 5, 6 all-time highs under Biden. We're not hurting in the stock market. There is no, but yet there's an affordability crisis. Even adjusted for inflation, real wages are higher than they've ever been. People aren't defaulting on credits. People are still traveling and ordering Uber Eats and doing all these things. But it doesn't matter. Those facts don't matter. It's how you feel about it. And largely, people feel the economy shit, despite it not being. Right?
that's true. That is true. Because I do hear a lot of complaints about the economy, and I was like, there's be times where I'd be like hella confused.
Yeah.
Because I'd just be like, wait, what? What are you talking about? The economy right now?
No.
Like that shit was ass.
No.
I remember like COVID being
Yeah.
like sort of shitty. I remember
Yeah.
that was under Trump. And I was like,
Yeah. But, despite who it being under, it's the fact that I listed off facts, but it's not about how you feel. It's not about the fact. It's not about the. Who cares if the stock market's doing better? How do I feel about the money in my pocket? And largely, people don't feel as secure as they do. It's largely based off vibes. People largely operate based off
people
emotions.
like those stimmies a lot.
Hell yeah,
I do
people.
feel like
Hell yeah, I like them fucking stimmies. That shit was gorgeous.
it was not good. It pissed me off every time. I remember thinking this shit not good for the economy. Like every time I heard the motherfucker stimmy, I'd be like, well, because they're trying to recirculate that shit. Like obviously, right? They're trying to- But I just knew deep down, like long run, that shit like a short term fix
Yeah,
kind of.
good. Damn, nigga bump my shit. But nah, yeah. So people, and you know the worst part is people don't understand how much they operate off of emotion. So somebody will tell you that they're largely fact based, but then they'll present the same level of facts, but a different interpretation of them or something like that. That. So I say all that to say, people are largely driven by emotion, and realizing that, I think could maybe help you better navigate certain things and be more in tune with other people's feelings. Because again, like I in my personal life, I still don't put a lot on the basis of emotion, but I'm starting to, because I'm realizing that helps me communicate with people a whole fucking bunch. Like with telling people no. When you tell, like, let's say somebody invites you to go out and you can't come, are you gonna explain why you can't come? Are you gonna say like, hey, Elijah, you want to come out tonight? And you can't. What are you saying to that? What's your response?
Oftentimes, I would probably give an explanation like, "Hey, I cannot do this because I am tasked with this," or like, "I need to do this." Like, but I feel like oftentimes people perceive that as like an excuse, like,
Yeah.
or as like a
Yeah.
oh, they just didn't want to. They really just didn't want to do it. Versus like the
Yeah.
no leads like the open imagination. I guess it doesn't affect them as much. But it's weird to me that that's the case, because in my opinion, if you were like, "Hey,
I gave you my
I
why."
can't make it," I'd prefer an explanation. Like, you don't have to, obviously. I'm not gonna be like pressed about an explanation.
Yeah, but like,
if you
it helps
do,
me
it's like,
know.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Elijah, you don't have to justify your no's. Your no should be strong enough to stand on its own. Like, hey, thanks for the
That's
invite,
crazy.
but I can't make it. Elijah, you don't have to
that makes sense.
you don't have to justify
That makes
yourself.
sense.
Your no's have
No, that makes
value.
sense.
Elijah, when I heard that shit, my mind was blown. You don't have to tell people why, and largely they don't give a fuck.
Man, see, that's crazy though, cause like, I always will go, because that's also something like that's why in Target,
Trust me, buddy,
right?
that's the
In
same
Target,
thing for me.
the reason they hypoed my shit, or hypo is like high performing. The reason they
Yeah.
like fast tracked me and shit was because in Target the why is what matters.
Yeah,
They always say, "What's the origin of why?" And that's why, like, oh, that's why you'll
Okay.
be a good leader, because you'll understand this and you'll know how to move forward. Like your way of thinking is different from the type of people that would normally just want to sit, work, and like kind of just get told what to do type shit. And so I didn't get that. I didn't get that there was like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
we're
I get
trying to
there-
wake his teammate up.
Nah, that's respect. That's respect. But yeah, I didn't realize
Almost cooked.
that whys weren't asked as often. I even remember, now I think about it, this shit makes a lot more sense now. Even after like that intern, when I don't remember if I told you the story where I was like, we were in the car driving, and we went around the whole island. We were driving, and we're with like he was the new SD.
Okay.
And I just start popping off questions. Granted, I did already kind of know him, like he
Yeah.
was in my store. I didn't know him like that, you know. He was just in my
Yeah.
store. Like, I had seen him. It was exposure, but not like the type of questions I was asking. Not that type of exposure.
Yeah.
So I was asking all these questions, really wanting to learn, really want to like sink all this in. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Like,
Fuck.
for you personally, like what works best for you, and why does this work best for you?
Yeah.
Like the type of thinker you are, etc.
Type
And
shit.
he,
Shit.
and I remember just sitting there and being like, why is no one else asking questions? Like I remember sitting there and like having that conscious moment of being like, you know, do they like, is it because was I asking questions and it was maybe answering their shit? Or like, or answering questions they had, or maybe questions they didn't know they had? Or was it like they just didn't want they felt afraid to ask questions? I don't know.
No,
But
yeah.
I find it hard to believe that like emotion rules over you to that point, the point of like you gonna let that shit stop you for like from doing certain things.
That's why I do so much to attempt to control and regulate my emotion, because I just don't put a lot of stake in it. And I want to be the master, like that quote you put on the back of my little keychain. I want to be the master of mind, not mastered by mind. That's why, like my purpose for skydiving wasn't because I wanted to fucking go jump out of a plane. It was a fear exercise, motherfucker. It was a confidence builder. It was a test. That's all it fucking was for me. I wanted to know that I could do it. But anyway, no, people are largely guided by that shit. People don't give a fuck.
Damn.
Oh, what a shot. Oh, God, I'm dog shit. But nah, man. Yeah, that shit, it's funny. Nah, yeah, we operate differently from people. And, like, having a why is important. A why is good. And I explained to my dad and my therapist, I was like, you don't understand how powerful a why is to me. Like, a why is everything. And we do this in like criminal court, right? Like, you can kill somebody, but if you have a good enough why, guess what? They'll let you off the fucking hook. Like, you just took a human life, but you had a good enough reason to, so they allowed that shit to slide. Like, that's how important whys are to me. I'm ass. I mean, like, and I told him, like, if you can present good enough justification to me for a reason to do something, motherfucker, I'll follow you to the end of the earth. If you say go kill that nigga, why? Because he's gonna, I don't know, because I don't like the way he dresses. All right, not good enough reason. Go kill that nigga because that's Hitler and he's gonna turn into the new Black Hitler in 6 years, nigga. Let's scrap up. What we do? I'm just like whys are so important to me, but they don't matter to everybody else. So that being said, man. Oh my God, I missed. But nah, that being said, dude, just damn, son. Yeah, it's like with the going out thing, right? I do feel the need to justify myself a lot. I'm like, and for me, what's going on in my head, I want to let you know, dude, I do want to come out. I just can't right now. Whether it's because of, work or this or that. But yeah, I think a lot of the times what I say is like, I have an excuse. But what I need to do is just kind of say, you know what? I don't feel like it tonight. I don't got that energy in me. And just say no. And be honest with like myself and them, and then also just allow my nose to stand solidly, because I think that's my fault. If you start presenting people constantly with whys, they may become accustomed to it. Which, me personally, I don't have an issue with. I love giving you my why. I love giving that information away. But to everybody, I don't know, man. It's weird.
Well, because it makes you sit there and think. Like, sometimes I don't have the why immediately. Sometimes I gotta sit there and you ask me why, and I sit there for 30 fucking seconds thinking, you know what? What is the true reason? Like, what is the real why in my head?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I wanna. You know, what's funny though. I realized I went on a journey of like my Buddhist shit, and part of like Buddhism is you learn to be content with not having whys. But then at some point, I went on a journey of like self-discovery and trying to figure myself out more, where I needed to find whys, and those two conflicting things made me like forget the like spiritual journey that I just went on, like all the learning that I just did there. And so I was like, man, I got to readjust that and realize that like while I learned that whys are important for me in this regard, they don't need to continue to be a focal point at every aspect of my life. So it's just hey, chill out.
I ran into a very similar thing with the stoicism and then like the self-discovery. Like that was kind of a part of the self-discovery, but then remember when because well, I guess it was reversed. Because I read the Shadow book, right? It was a lot of introspection, and in a way, I found myself losing the introspective part of me because it was really easy. It's way easier when it's like conceptualized. So like in my head, when I was like the shadow is just that's okay. The shadow, that's my that's my internal. That's like it's my conscious. Like instead of calling it my conscious, which is super common, you can kind of just like dismiss naturally.
What a shot!
What a shot!
I'm fucking up.
Being able to say shadow and it kind of having like a different name and it stands out in my head, it allowed me to be a lot more conscious of my actions and my everyday actions to the point where I would like, in the middle of a conversation, on the spot, I was able to be like, I didn't have to really worry. Like I had self-thought, but then I was also able to like analyze the other individual throughout the conversation and kind of be able to better navigate my conversations. And I lost it a little bit when I did the stoicism shit because it was like basically it's telling you, hey, like it's okay. It was telling you it's okay to be emotional, but to not let that shit affect you.
Yeah.
Like or affect decision making. So when that happened, I almost lost to a degree my ability on introspection, but I guess not introspection, my ability to analyze emotion.
Yeah, no, it's funny, right? Yeah, one journey sends you, because I was thinking, I was like, man, I kind of did this shit out of order. I should have went on a journey of self-discovery before I did the spiritual shit, because then it made like conflicting interest. It made me like I need to discover whys, but I just got done telling myself for like the past year that whys don't matter. And I should be at peace with not having those answers. And it was really fuck me. It was really weird. But just there's a healthy balance in there somewhere of navigating your consciousness and being present enough in conversation. Yeah, there's a fine balance in there everywhere. And like that came out. On my screen, he pinched it back out for like a split second.
I bumped him on my screen. Like get it inside a little or outside a little more, and I hit him.
Oh, okay.
And so he wasn't able to.
But nah, man. Yeah, there's a balance in there somewhere. You just gotta find it.
I think I will say I do think the stoicism did help. It being first, second, helped.
Damn.
Yeah, because then I didn't have to go through. I didn't have to look for more whys.
I'll pass it. I thought you were gonna keep going. You didn't keep going, and I was like, "Fuck!" But it worked out because he bumped you. That's crazy. That's what I was gonna do anyway. But I thought you were just gonna keep going.
It was meant to be. So it was destiny right there.
I'm God. But yeah, because the stoicism came second, you were saying?
It was, no, I didn't have the answer to the whys as much. The emotional part, like, it kind of did help. It in a way, it helped me regulate. Let me rephrase that. It helped me regulate emotion, but I guess I did say that. But analyzing others, like, that was where it had me fall.
Yeah.
It had me fall short, where I was just like, holy shit.
For sure.
And I think it hurt my creativity. If that makes sense. But at least my artistic creativity. I think creativity in general is not as hurt by that. And I actually, because of that, I finally found this book. They finally sold it at Target. I couldn't find it. But this book is called The Creative Act, A Way of Being. And basically it kind of talks you through. And I've based off of reading the first chapters. And the beginning of the book, I love it so much. It states, all this stuff in here is not fact. Like he basically says, none of this is in this book is fact. It's what I found to be true, and I am sharing this with you. Nice. For you to find things that are true for yourself. And there's like it's like all 4 to 5 page entries.
Nice. What is it called?
And it's called The creative acts a way of being. And so it's all 4 to 5 page entries, and I can read some of them, and each of them are chapters, obviously, like chapter entries, chapters. So it's everyone is a creator, tuning in, the source of creativity, awareness, the vessel and the filter, the unseen, look for clues, practice, submerge, the great works, nature as a teacher. And basically, what it goes, it just kind of tells you like all these different things. It's called 70. Oh, the chapters are called, instead of called chapters, it's called 78 areas of thought. And you're gonna read through all 78 areas of thought of it, once you by the end of the book, and it basically kind of gives you a new perspective on creativity, or at least it has already for me, where it was like a lot of people think creativity is akin to art, but creativity, and obviously like you can take this, you can perceive this how you want to perceive it, because like it said, like it wants you to pick up and carry with you the things that you find helpful, and then just dismiss, not dismiss, but to you can drop it. You can drop anything that maybe doesn't work for you, basically is what it said.
What the fuck is that lag? Okay.
It gave me, it said, your art, or you being creative, not necessarily art, because people say, it starts out saying, holy shit.
Fuck.
It starts out saying, you basically, a lot of people associate art with creativity, like they're synonymous.
Yeah.
Which is true to an extent. And it says that that's what people say. Then those who do not, I'll just read it because it's short. Actually, I'll read it after this game, because I thought it was pretty interesting.
I'm beat.
I just found myself like, kind of like I was in my break room, like the break room. Everyone knows I kind of like study and read in the break room, and so sometimes people will walk up to me and or they'll just look at me studying, and they'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" or "What are you reading?" And today I like made a face, like because I was just like, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, he scored.
What the fuck? Huh?
And I made like this face, and they were like, "You just had a revelation, huh?" And I was like, "Yes, I fucking did," because I was like, "What the fuck?" I didn't, like, I guess I might have been a path of thought I've had before, but never just sat and like just stuck with it for like longer than a moment. And I was like, "Holy shit, that's kind of valid. That's that, I like that." Or I like the way of thinking that way, because like it opened a different level of open-mindedness to me in my head. Like I think I'm a relatively open-minded individual. That shit made me go, whoa. Maybe I'm not. Like that shit's crazy.
Yeah. No, that's just.
That shit profound.
That shit is profound. Yeah, I just looked up the book. Hopefully I'll
It's a beautiful book as well. I have the hardcover. It has like the circle dot, like the target. It's very like simple. It has a good feeling to it. It's not like your typical hardcover. It's a little like a rougher. You can hear it. Like that's I love the feeling of that shit.
I just found it.
Fucking god.
The creative act, a way of being. Okay, but I see you now. Alright, but that shit look heat.
I'm gonna read like the very beginning, and this is what hooked me. I was just sitting there in Target, and I was doing some stocking stuff or shopping, and I went and I was like, let me see if I can find like a book for someone, and I ended up finding a book for myself. And I've been really wanting a book, but it's always hard to find a book for me. Like it's always hard to find a book that's gonna like stick, and especially now like with being close to like finding time to like want to read outside
of your already scheduled programming. The
crazy amount of reading. Like. So, I seen it, and I was like, and I seen how it was like short entries, and I was like, this is perfect. Like this is the type of book I need. It's the type of book I want. It's the type of genre of book I guess per se I like, or the type of what's the word I'm looking? The source material. Not source. The type of content I want in my books. And I like that in my books. It's a unique perspective of content that like I haven't already read over 1,000,000 times, which was what I was finding. I would read these like better self-help books and all this shit.
Yeah,
like,
but
so
now they discuss the shadow 8 different ways and shit.
Yeah, it's just the same thing but repeated in a different. Yeah, exactly. So this it feels a little different to me. So I opened the book, and so the very beginning, the creative act, the way of being, and the first thing before it even shows you the table of contents, the object isn't to make art. It's to be in that wonderful state which makes art inevitable. Beautiful, right? So I keep
Yeah.
going. I see the content. I see all the content, and I'm like, that's another thing. And like, let's see, what's something that maybe hit my attention on this the 78 areas of thought. Um, One of them, implications, purpose. Another one, there was the not the art of habit. Where's it at? It's adaptation. Definitely hit me. Beginner's mind. Um, and point of view are some of the like areas of thought that particularly interests me.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna buy it. I already at that point I already kind of decided I was gonna buy the book, but I was like, let me go a little further. And before the first area of thought, it says this: nothing is in this book is known to be true. It's a reflection on what I've noticed, not facts so much as thoughts. Some ideas may resonate, others may not. A few may awaken an inner knowing you had or you forgot you had. Use what's helpful, let go of the rest. Each of these moments is an invitation to further inquiry, looking deeper, zooming out or in, opening possibilities for a new way of being. I read that and said, "Shit, this book already touched my heart." So then I was like, "All right, let me go in." Um, and I read this, and it says, I think it is it the first one. Oh yeah. It's the first thing. It literally is the baseline for the book. Everyone is a creator. Those who do not engage in the traditional arts might be wary of calling themselves artists. They might perceive creativity as something extraordinary or beyond their capabilities. A calling for the special few who are born with these gifts. Fortunately, this is not the case. Creativity is not a rare ability. It is not difficult to access. Creativity is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's our birthright, and it's for all of us. Creativity doesn't exclusively relate to making art. We all engage in this act on a daily basis. To create is to bring something into existence that wasn't there before. It could be a conversation, the solution to a problem, a note to a friend, the rearrangement of furniture in a room, a new route home to avoid a traffic jam. What you make doesn't have to be witnessed, recorded, sold, or encased in glass for it to be a work of art. Through the ordinary state of being, we're already creators in the most profound way, creating our experience of reality and composing the world we perceive. In each moment, we are immersed in a field of undifferentiated matter from which our senses gather bits of information. The outside universe we perceive doesn't exist as such. Through a series of electrical and chemical reactions, we generate a reality internally. We create forests and oceans, warmth and cold. We read words, hear voices, and form interpretations. Then, in an instant, we produce a response. All of this in a world of our own creation. Regardless of whether or not we're formally making art, we are all living as artists. We perceive, filter, and collect data, then curate an experience for ourselves and others based on the information set. Whether we do this consciously or unconsciously, by the mere fact of being alive, we are active participants in the ongoing process of creation. To live as an artist is a way of being in the world, a way of perceiving, a practice of paying attention, refining our sensitivity to tune in to the more subtle notes, looking for what draws us in and what pushes us away, noticing what feeling tones arise and where they leave. Attuned choice by attuned choice, your entire life is a form of self expression. You exist as a creative being in a creative universe, a singular work of art. And that is the first thought. That is the first area of thought out of the 78. And when I sat when I sat and read all that, I was like, well, because I just read that today. I didn't even read that before I bought the book, and I was just like, okay, I don't feel like I completely waste my money. I can like